All right, Madam Clerk, this is the continuation of our meeting from April 25th. And so we don't need to, so we don't need to take roll or anything, right? We're just picking up where we left off. And Madam Clerk, where are we? I think because we had people visiting us, we did not even do the consent agenda, right?
Right.
We just went right into people who were
Visiting.
here.
I think you should do roll, though, because we have different people here.
Oh, that's a good point. All right, yes,
Okay.
Madam Clerk, let's...
Okay, Ted Carlson,
Nice and tired.
Terry Kelly,
Here.
Kathleen Keene,
Here.
David Nesbitt is absent, Becky Wendt is absent, and we also have President Dee Ennis, Deputy Municipal Attorney, and Lisa Slusner, Deputy Municipal Clerk. We have a quorum.
All right, good. And I guess what we could do, Lisa, in the minutes of this meeting, maybe just sort of, we'll have to indicate at some point the meeting was continued and then resumed, and maybe in the roll, list the people there, and then in parentheses, not present though at the continuation of the
And I
meeting,
think that's
so
just
people can
Becky.
read the minutes and see.
Everybody else is the same.
Okay.
All right, very good. Well, let's take a look at A1 then. Let's start on the consent agenda. Forms for board review, gift exception forms.
I have another one to pass out that just came in today, so I just thought we'd get it out of the way.
And that would be in 4A.
It would be, yes,
Just
and
brochures?
pass the
Okay.
green. I believe there's one in there, and then if we look at the one that I'm passing out, that will yes, that's
So this is a value under $50.
Oh, that's interesting.
But if you notice, the person says, I'm signing over to these.
Mhm.
So,
and it's actually the unknown is the way it should be done, so it's good.
All right, I think that's it for the first section, right? Completed by employees, that was the green dividers. Does anyone have anything they want to pull out or gives them heartburn about that section? All right, let's take a look then at the gift disclosure forms by elected officials.
There's none.
None. Now let's move on to school district. Employees or board members.
and I had an assignment from Eric Croft on a school district one. Is that somewhere else here?
It's in present economic
Okay.
interest now.
Okay. Yeah, we can eat 3 sandwiches each.
Yeah, that would really go to town now. Does anyone see anything in this section that gives them heartburn that they'd like to fully discuss?
Which one is that?
We're in the purple here, conflict of interest from Anchorage School District employees or board members.
Well, that one for $500.
Oh, the gifts for employees, you're back in that section?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she said she's gonna sign that over to the school, and it's
And
unknown.
tell them,
And,
okay.
and whoever gave it to her did not give her any indication
Yeah,
who it
okay.
was. And I think that's the, yeah, I think that's right. I think
Okay,
that's the
that-
way
that
that
was-
should be done is,
And the one you just passed out, that, it appears that she wrote the estimated value at $50. So, doesn't it?
I thought it was less than 50.
Doesn't that look like
Yeah.
$50 to you? So it wouldn't be a,
Okay.
She didn't need to do it.
yeah. So,
yeah, I
so
agree.
that takes care of those.
Yeah, there's nothing in that section, so if you go into where you are now to the purple section here. there's just a couple.
I don't see.
All right, good. Let's take a look then. At how about you, Ted? Do you see anything?
No, you know, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me.
Let's take a look at the orange section then. This is going to be present economic interests.
When people get to Connolly, I have a question.
Okay. There's only one in there that I felt that there may be a conflict, but, and that is on the road board in Eagle River. And, see if I can find it. And I would like to, yeah,
Which one, Ted?
it's Joe Vincenti.
Is that toward the back?
No, it's toward the front, about oh, maybe a quarter of the way in. It's on the right-hand side, going through it.
Here we go. Oh, it is pretty.
Pretty far.
It's pretty far, reasonably far in. Though I see what you're saying, Ted. Holy cow, there's a ton of these.
Yeah,
There's
Whoa.
almost 200.
Yeah, so yeah, it is. So Ted's right. It is about a quarter of the way in, but a quarter of the way in is much further than you might realize.
yeah, okay, and if I,
So don't lose Connolly on your way because that's way past Connolly. So we'll circle back and we'll hit Connolly. All right, so Ted, let me see this.
okay, yeah, no, it's,
He's self-employed.
yeah, that's it, yeah. And I'll tell you a little bit about him, is he was a developer out there, and he developed all that land, and of course, he lives down there, and now they're upgrading, he's on the board of directors there for Subversa.
And what's Subversa? I don't know.
Huh?
What's Subversa?
It's the Chugach Rural, Chugach River Rural.
Road Service Board. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's on the board of directors there for that, and I'm also an alternate on that board. And on Yosemite Drive, he lives on Yosemite Drive,
Mhm.
and he put Yosemite Drive in when he developed it several years ago. And now they're upgrading it. And, the board votes to upgrade it, but they're upgrading it because it's on the same street as the Eagle River High School.
Right, that's right.
And that's
right.
why they're upgrading it, so, even though he lives on it and he developed it, the road board didn't think he had when they met, they didn't think he had a conflict.
Okay, so he disclosed it and they
Yeah,
decided that it
he
was
disclosed
okay.
it. So that's the only one that wanted, that's the only one I've seen in here, and looking at it, that was any question. But the rest of them, I have them marked as the ones that did have a conflict, but it's, their spouse works for a landscaping or something to that effect, and,
Right.
and, they bid on landscaping contracts, and so, but none of them in here had any input as far as giving the,
Deciding and assessing.
yeah,
contracts or-
deciding on contracts or anything like that.
Okay.
But their spouse would possibly bid on some of the contracts. But
Okay.
they didn't have any input, that's purchasing, and they had nothing to do with purchasing.
Okay. That sounds-
And there was one other one on the planning and zoning, that he's a builder, but, when I've been there, they've excused themselves if it involved
Great, right.
their company. But all these boards and commissions, like the Board of Equalization, has several real estate people on it, because they have the knowledge.
Yeah.
and this sort of thing. So, you know, he has knowledge about building and developing and everything else. So, I mean, he has a lot to give to that board. So there wasn't any specific, you know, but I've been there when, you know, out listening to the board, and when one of them has a conflict, they just excuse themselves and.
Right.
and
Okay.
So that
Good.
that was the only one that I saw that you might want to look at.
Dee, you had
Well,
Connolly.
and let me
I
just
think
go back
there's-
to
I think there's a
Mr.
couple of
Vicente.
Connolly. Oh, yes,
too.
yeah.
Is he didn't check either that neither I nor any family member, or I haven't, he didn't check either box. He is a very, very active member out there, and I'm trying to think, you know, this is a board, it's not an elected official, it's not a service area board, it's an actual board. So, you know, is there, the fact that he did disclosure to them and they ruled, are we then out of our jurisdiction anyway? But he is very active out there.
Mhm.
And I have no opinion one way or the other. I don't know the level of activity, but he's extremely active, and other board members would know him well. And so maybe that we just don't have any jurisdiction. So I suppose while we're covering other matters, I could quick look that part up in the code. But Ted, you said, were you there at the disclosure? Ted, were you there when he made his disclosure? That when Mr. Vincenti made the disclosure to
Yeah.
Sagarsa,
Mhm.
you were there, and did you feel as an ethics board member, I mean, you're wearing two hats right now, but did you feel that it was a pretty adequate disclosure?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very, very much so.
Okay,
And I wasn't, you know, I'm an alternate, so I
Right.
was sitting on the board to make a decision,
oh, good.
and they voted that he didn't have a conflict.
But you thought it was pretty thorough.
Oh,
And
very
of course,
thorough.
most of the people on that board are gonna be aware of him anyway.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
And,
And that board is a little different than the municipal boards here. That board is made up of one person from each community council. The community council
Interesting.
elects them, and the mayor had no, or the assembly had no say-so over who.
so it's sort of like a clearinghouse of all the other community
Yeah.
councils.
I mean, the mayor,
and-
comes into the mayor's office and it's a.
Then appoints and everything, but the way those names come
It's
to the mayor's
a rubber
office.
stamp type thing.
And they're advisory.
Yeah,
They don't do adjudication or anything, so.
Yeah.
Let me just double check that before the end of the meeting, but it seems fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they made, again, we, for
Yeah.
Kathleen really, there's a portion of the code which says something about appointed members that the board determines whether they, as long as they give adequate disclosure, it's the board, and we don't have jurisdiction if they've done a disclosure to reweigh the factors, and I assume that's gonna happen here, so. Okay, so if I could look at that a little bit further. And the only one I had was Connolly, which was
but
towards.
is he an attorney?
Vincente, I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, he represents a person from MLP,
Oh, are you talking about Connolly?
E. Conley, yeah.
Oh, see, I thought he is a represented employee at MLMP. Not that he represents an
Well, it says
employee.
Represented employee at MLP through IBEW.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking he's saying he's a represented employee.
No.
Oh, yeah, because it is true. It describes the duties to be performed, represented employees. So.
No, but then when it says identify the organization or enterprise engaging in business.
Well,
Well, let's find out
the
then.
IBEW does not do business with the city. The union itself, it's the,
But below there, he says, identify the organization or enterprise,
Yeah.
IBEW, and then he says under title or position held, represented.
Well,
in
people.
Oh, that's true.
It could be a
Amen.
represented. He could be a represented
Representative.
employee. That's how they
yeah,
refer to themselves.
you're right there.
Well, my
But-
concern is one of the issues that we may or may not address further on in this meeting is can employees be on these boards? And that Lisa and I did some research on that, and there's something that we would talk with the board about, with this board about.
Mhm.
So I was interested in this just because, wait a minute, is it an employee on a LRSA board, and is that a problem? I think, again, that's more of a legal issue that I need to do some research on. So I'd rather we not. And if it is as Ted might suggest that what he's saying, he's an attorney or somebody representing an employee, but I think this is saying I
Well,
am
even-
an IBEW member, I'm an employee, and I'm also on
Well-
a LRSA board, and I need to check that out.
I see what you're saying, right? So that's what he's disclosing as his economic interest.
Yeah.
I work for the city.
But there's this whole larger issue whether employees can serve on boards
But I know
of the
they-
city. But that's a larger
Well,
issue that we can
There
discuss.
are some boards that,
Where they are specified, right?
well, and they're, yeah, specified to be on it and, they're appointed, municipal employee appointed by the mayor
Exactly.
to be on some of them. So I don't see any reason why a municipal employee couldn't be on certain boards. And especially the road service boards, where they have no,
Well, and I don't know if he was elected. Anyway, it's a legal issue that we gotta at least look at
Yeah.
first. So if we could
Right.
reserve that one and reserve the Vincenti one. And we're not denying him, but just hold so we get some more look at him. And I think, Lisa, you were right, it's a good thing we continue to hold this meeting with 200 of these.
but I had that one flagged here, so,
You did?
yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. There is the Spinelli one. That is the Planning and Zoning Commission
Yeah.
person. Lisa, that's one we might want to send them the letter that reminds them to not participate in deliberations and abstain from voting.
Where is it?
It's been on
Oh gosh, that is going to be. It's past.
Is it past Ted's or?
It's past heads. If you
Past
keep,
heads,
if you go
okay.
keep going past heads.
And the reason why is because there's another matter involved that's confidential. So we have to go into deliberative session involving. Okay, so I have to find it still.
On March 19th.
There we go. I wondered if we could move into deliberative session just for 5 minutes.
Sure.
To address this, if someone has to so move, and
Does anyone have any objections to moving into? Okay.
so this would be the no recording.
Hearing no objections, let's move into deliberative session. So no recording at all for this.